bonjour. Ça va, Renaud? Ça va bien? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just calling because I don't know if you saw, but LMR released some break balls. So I know how you like balls, so I just figured I'd let you know. I mean, he has black balls and red balls, and I know they're a bit small, but they're still balls, so I figured I'd let you know. Yeah, I know, Renaud. I mean, I love you too. Yeah, and I miss you, but don't worry, I'll be back in Europe soon, and I mean, then we can go away. It's just a wrong number. Anyway, let's pick a number for when I start. We'll do Q&A. We'll do Q&A until we reach that number. Okay? So, good Facebook Live coming today. We're going to talk about Bumpy track setup. So, everything I should have and didn't do at DNC. So we're going to do a setup sheet for a rough track. I'm going to talk about that. There's actually, I did some changes at the race, so I'll go over those, but there were 2 changes which are really obvious that I should have done but didn't. And then there's 2 more changes that I could have done and they may have been good. So we're going to cover the rough track setup. And then, oh yeah, then, you know, it's like the Borat movie. He came to America to discover this wonderful country, and I feel like I'm kind of doing the same in a sense. So we have part 2 of US culture appreciation today. So last week we talked about adult family members kissing each other on the mouth, which is really strange when you have an uncle kissing his 16-year-old niece on the mouth. I don't know, that's just weird. That's really weird. But today we have something else to talk about. And yeah, so pick a number, and until we hit the number, we'll just do Q&A. Deal? Someone needs to pick a number here. Can you hear me? Have I ceased to exist? What the hell? What's going on? There's no interaction. 25. Okay, so Jeremy, this is how this works. We need to reach that number that you pick. We're at 58 now, so 25 won't work. 69. No, we did 69 last time because that's the only 69 that is achievable and realistic at this point in my life. So, nah, we did. Okay, 102. I like that. Ashton, 102. So when we reach 102 viewers, then we'll start this thing. Dave wins with an optimistic 200. Sorry, Dave, you were too late. We picked 102. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? So hey, by the way, this is kind of a bad time. All of Europe is asleep. So we're relying on America and Asia right now. We're at 69. I think we can do it. If you share this and, you know, ask family members not to kiss you on the mouth, but just to, you know, watch, I think that can be good. You have a plan on making a truggy? No, no plans. Ask me again after I have a new buggy. Driving and listening might drop out. Well, thanks for the information. You need a black barber. Okay. What the hell? How do you keep your nerves in check and stay calm during racing? Well, I mean, mostly I don't. But the best thing to help with nerves is actually to practice more. and race more. So when you're comfortable with your car, you kind of feel safe driving it, then that's really the best way to calm your nerves. So more track time, really. I don't know of another way. Remember to breathe, relax, like actively think of like breathing, relaxing, and just sort of don't think ahead. Don't think about what's gonna happen or what could happen. Think about the moment you're in. I'm gonna do this jump, I'm gonna whip the car, I'm gonna, hit this line in this corner, I'm gonna avoid that bump. Like, think in the moment. I thought it was how many Q&As, not viewers. Okay, I see what you mean then. No, it's how many viewers. How is the corona fear affecting your business? Well, yeah, I mean, trying to get some shit anodized, we can't because the company is not back at work due to that coronavirus. So yeah, it does affect supply of parts and stuff. And I'm also supposed to be going to China, so I'm gonna have to see what's going on and if the planes are flying or what. So I need to visit the manufacturer. I will PayPal you to Slapbox Drake. What is Slapbox? I mean, I'll do it. Just PayPal me, the jq@jq-products.com. Yeah. When's the new buggy coming out? New buggy, best guess, 2022 Worlds. Why did you suck so badly at DNC? We're gonna cover this when we talk about the setup. But yeah, it wasn't very good. Is there anyone oh yeah, see, Mayfield said he was gonna throat punch Barufalo. I would like to throat punch Keenan, but it's very hard because, have you seen his neck? I haven't. He goes shoulder to chin, basically. Traditional break-in or oil bath? Traditional. Do you can beat Westergaard? Yeah, I really do think so. I mean, it's 8-2 now, so I'm pretty fucked. We have the race in Palm Desert. Maybe we can race 2 classes. I can beat him twice. It's 8-4. Then I beat him 3 classes at PMB, and he's still up by 1. So it's gonna be a while. Hey, what's this toilet paper thing going on in Australia? Everyone hoarding toilet paper. Why is that a thing? Looks like we're never going to start this Facebook Live because you assholes aren't sharing this. Pathetic. 80 people, what's that? Lack of Europeans, see? What are we gonna do? There we go, Anthony's here. Anthony is gonna get his TLR mates to watch, and then we're gonna achieve 102 viewers. When you come to America, how come you don't spend more time on the East Coast? Seems your sales are more on the East Coast than the West Coast. That's because I come to America during the winter and the weather sucks on the East Coast. How about that? But I'm going to PMB, so does that count? Doing PMB. Atkins Diet is watching. I waved to Atkins Diet. Atkins, you still owe me 40 bucks. Wait, let me help you out here. Atkins is a special case. He owes me some money. Just gonna help him out here. So it's this one. So this is what it looks like. It has a 2 and a 0. So I need 2 of these. So this is 1, this is 20, and then another one of these that's 40. So that's how much you owe me right now. So I'd appreciate it if you found these, 2 of these. Let me see. See? I don't have a second one. That's it. I really desperately need it, so 2 of these, please. Thanks, Atkins. Really appreciate that. So Barry Baker predicts that after PMB, it's going to be 13-2 for Westergaard. I mean, if it's 13-2 when I leave America, I don't know if I'll ever catch up. I mean, it's going to take 5 years, basically. 13-2, that would be pretty bad. How many tanks do your ultimate engines take to break in? It's same as OS. So, I mean, few tanks on the starter box, 2 or 3 tanks, then 1 fuel bottle. What is that? How many tanks is that? 4. So 4 fuel tanks on the track with something covering the cooling head so you can run it really rich, but the temps are high, like normal running temps. And then after that you take a break and then you take the cover off. You have to retune, you have to lean it quite a bit. Then you run another fuel bottle. So 4 tanks, and then it's pretty much broken in. Why do I hate Nova? I hate Nova because they ruined my best races 10 years ago. Or, what is it, 15 years ago? Never forgave them. Have you seen Aaron Dexter's top seed at New Zealand Nationals today? No, I didn't see, but that's good. It's probably because he has a paint job. And even though the paint job looks like you ate Thai food and then threw up, it's still better than what he had. And he isn't running green stickers. That's good. Were the MIP shock pistons used a lot at DNC? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. They don't really work on my car. They make it too nervous. The rebound's too fast. But I'm sure that Drake and Mayfield and those guys run them. They tend to run them everywhere. So the oil bath to break in, that engine is overrated. I don't know, overrated. I'm sure it's fine, but you don't have to do it. Or $41 bills, yeah. But Atkins ain't gonna have that. Maybe he'll have 220s. No, you're gonna have to go back and look at the beginning after this is over. 93, we're getting close now. I was losing hope, but we're getting close. I'm gonna open a setup sheet. We're gonna have to do a setup sheet here. Uh-oh, where is it? Green stickers are the best. Yeah, green stickers don't match pink, I'm sorry. Or Thai food vomit. Green stickers don't match. Do you think running lower front ride height makes the car jump less predictable? I mean, a bit, but it's not really an issue. So there's something else going on. It's not the ride height. 95, we are so close. We just need 5 more people. Even Quartz is here. Quartz is retired and he's here. Tim, yes, I will. I'm gonna race 3 classes, Nitro Buggy, E-Buggy, and Truggy, and I'm gonna beat him in minimum 2, probably 3. No, Justin, you didn't miss it. It's coming up. The court salute. going down again. Why aren't you people sharing this? Kevin, good you're here. We're going to talk about some culture soon. Spencer's here. Spencer's here to get that setup advice, so he can share it then on his Facebook Live. I know how that goes. Ashley, yeah, Ashley, we haven't started yet. We only start at 1:02. Need JQ drivers in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area? Yeah, of course. What beer is this? $8.05 beer. How much lighter will the new car be compared to the old car? What new car? Anthony, so even if you beat me in all three, I still win. Hey, Anthony, are you doing that race on Saturday? Palm Desert. What classes are we racing? No, Jeremy, I'm done with OCRC. Okay, we had 103 just now. 102, okay. I have to start. My laptop's dying. Shit. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna start off with this bumpy track nonsense. So Barry asked, why did I suck at DNC? You know why? Tigani would say because I'm too old. But I say because I suck. I'm not a very good driver, to be honest. And another thing, I didn't do the right things to my car. Now, I know this is something that tends to happen at races. And I know I'm not the only one that does this. So I know what to do. I know the changes that would help. But then I don't do them at the race. And then after the race, I think, you know what? I should have done this and that. Why the fuck don't I just do it in the race? I don't know. I'm maybe too scared. Or then it doesn't even cross my mind. And then after all the stress, everything's gone. Then clear mind, I think, oh, it's pretty obvious what I should have done. Should have run Chris morale setup. No, I shouldn't, Will. Wouldn't have made a difference. Will thinks Chris morale setup is magic. We probably have it here. It's not much different to what I ran. So first of all, the track at DNC was super rough. So no matter what changes you would have made, you still needed to drive well. I mean, just look at, okay, here's a good example. Oh, that HB car was magic. It was amazing. Ron the Fox just lapped everyone pretty much. The car was just amazing. Yeah, tell that to Cole Ogden. He must really suck as a driver. Complete blowout, crashing everywhere, all over the shop. Why? They had the same car. Yeah, David picked the right lines, was in tune with the car, made the right decisions, engine, clutch, the whole package, everything right, driving very well, being smooth. He made it work. Cole, not so much. Same car. Where's the magic? Look at Techno. Oh, Techno car was so good, it's dialed. Yeah, tell that to B-Main Joe Bornhorst. Average Joe couldn't even make the main. Right? Seeing a pattern emerge here? When the track gets like that, it's more of a driver's track. All cars suck in the wrong hands. All cars can be magic in the right hands because it's more about the driver when the track is that bad. Because you have to hit the bumps correctly, braking bumps going into corners, hit the right line in corners at the right speed, hit jumps in the right place on the face, land correctly. Like, precision goes to a whole different level when the track is like that. No one can just power through the bumps and do the best lap times. Oh well, sorry. I apologize. Barufalo can. Marco Barufalo, he just went through all the bumps Like, he took normal lines, sorry, drove through all the bumps, and was catching Mayfield. It's ridiculous. Like, Mayfield's trying to avoid bumps, being smooth, doing all these right smooth lines, and then Barroso's just like going through all the bumps. Like, no fucks given. That was ridiculous. It's a shame he flamed out. That could have been an awesome race between Ronne Falk, Barofalo, and Mayfield. So we've established that there was no magic car. Ronne Falk was just on it. He's really good on those kind of tracks. Thibaut, same thing. Thibaut's really good. He TQ'd the Worlds in Vegas, super bumpy. Ronne Falk won the Worlds in Vegas, super bumpy. Those two drivers are really good when the track gets rough like this, because they have the right mentality and driving style and way of approaching a long main on a track like that. Ronne Falk said he went offline, I don't know, 3 times in the main or something. He crashed every time. His own words. He said he went offline and crashed. So he just stayed online, or if he made a slight mistake, he slowed down, corrected it before he was in the super rough stuff. Other drivers just keep the same speed, hit bumps bad, flip over. So, but there are still things you can do to the car to make it easier to drive. And some of the things I did. So, the first thing, diffs. When the track got that rough, it was kind of hard. It was hard to accelerate anywhere on the track, really. So go down on the diffs. So I think I ended up on, what was it now? I have it in my notes, but it's in my phone. I think I ended on 10, 8, 6. 10, 8, 6. And that's a lot thinner than I normally run. Normally I'd run like 12 or 15 in the front, 12 in the middle, pretty much 6 in the rear. But that's always the case. And doing that, especially the center diff, thinner center diff oil, it's just so much easier to accelerate. Bumps and cars. Barofalo drove through them all. Yeah, that's what I just said, Anthony. I don't know, Anthony's a bit slow. He lives in the desert. So lower diff oils, that's one thing. Then another thing I did, which wasn't really a big deal, it didn't help much, but the front. So A block, I had a 0 insert, B block, 1 all the way down, so more kick up. When you angle the front arm more, it goes through the bumps smoother. But honestly, I didn't notice a big difference there. The diffs, the thinner diffs, that was a good thing. Then also on the rear, I went to less anti-squat. So again, smaller angle on the arm. So I went 0.5 down, 0.5 down. So the arm was lower and less angle. And that's a good thing on rough tracks. It just makes the rear end a lot smoother over the bumps when you accelerate. So those are the changes I made, and those are the changes I made that worked. I tried some different pistons and stuff, but it all sucked. I ended up running the standard shock setup in my main. My car was decent in the main. So what should I have done, but didn't? There are 2 main things that I know I should have done. I mean, I wrote the freaking guide for the car, yet I didn't do them at the race. With those diffs, no wonder your shit sucked. Anthony, you don't know, but normally we run way thicker oil in our diffs because our gears are different to most other cars, or many other cars. I thought I had gears here. We've talked about that before. I'm not going to get into it, but on the JQ car we run thicker diff oils than normal. Normal setup is like 12-12-6 or 15-15-6, you know, so having 8 in the middle is thin. I normally never go under 10. Okay, number 1 thing I should have done. Hex. +1 hex in the front and the rear. I should have gone to stock hexes. Stock hexes are 1 mil narrower. I don't think that the wheelbase or the track width is the important thing here. I think it's more the offset. So when you go to the thinner hex, it doesn't want to catch the bumps as much. You have less side bite, it slides over bumps more instead of catching them. That would have been a really good thing. Just going through bumps, it doesn't feel as edgy when you go to the stock hexes. So I should have definitely done that, but I didn't, because I'm an idiot. Most everyone went up on diffs, not down, at least in the front. So yeah, maybe maybe if your car was nervous, like twitchy, but my car wasn't nervous and twitchy. Yeah, up on the diff in the front, but they didn't go up on the diffs in the center or rear. I'm pretty sure about that. So narrow hexes, that's one thing. And then the bigger thing that I should have done, but I didn't. And this, with the hex change in this, I think that's all that would have been needed. So I ran the shock on the outside hole on the front, on the arm. I should have gone to the middle. I should have gone to the standard front shock shaft, which, you know, is the right length for the shock. I run the longer shock shaft in the outside hole and no bladder. I should have gone standard shock shaft, middle hole. We cut the tabs, so, you know, we have to limit the shock length for droop. Standard shock shaft, middle hole, 102 shock length. That's what I should have done. Rear, I should have gone inside on the arm, on the shock, and all the way inside on the tower. I'm 100% sure that the front would have been good. The rear, I'm like 90% sure it would have been good on that track. Shock length, 120. So like 2-3 mil shorter shock than on the outside hole. If I had moved the shocks in, the suspension would have been a lot more plush. It would have handled the bumps a lot better. The only place on that track where I could see it being worse would have been in that sort of S section and that long sweeper, right-hand sweeper, but that's not a big deal. Just be more careful in that one section of the track and have a car that's better everywhere else. It's a no-brainer. Pretty stupid I didn't do that. I tried it at Rev today, just, you know, for shits and giggles. And, I mean, even at Rev kind of grooves up daytime when you don't water, so it's kind of inconsistent grip, but it was super rough. So I ran it and, yeah, it was good. I don't know. I know what to do, but then at races, I don't do those things. Then afterwards, I think, yeah, I should have done that. Anthony went up, front and rear, center down. Well, good for you, Anthony. I kept the same rear and went down on front and center. The track was kind of normal California grip, not super loose, not like medium grip. So yeah, those two changes I should have definitely done, would have been better. The reason for the suspension being better when you move it in on the arm is that when you hit a bump, the speed of the piston is lower when you move it in on the arm. So that means that when you hit those holes, there's less pack. So you're able to have suspension that's soft and plush for those bumps without having to change the springs and pistons and oils and set it softer. Just work softer on it works softer on the track. And on this track, like I said, you didn't really need the support of the suspension much, just that long sweep in the middle. The main thing wasn't corner speed. The main thing was going through bumps. When you move the shocks in on the arm, you lose some corner speed. So you don't tend to want to do that because you want to have good corner speed always. That's where you make a good lap time. But on this track, the corner speed wasn't the issue. The issue was going through bumps. Let's see what Barry's saying. I don't know why I can't click see more. There we go. You talk about shocks, but how about camber gain? If you put more gain in, then you could have caught less edges mid-corner. The tire would have slid over the edges. Come on, you should know that. Yes, I know that, but when you have a how can I put this? So to get camber gain is a compromise always. So if you raise the roll center, you have more camber gain. So if you raise this link out here or lower it here, angle the link, the tire is going to camber more when the suspension works, but you're raising the roll center and you don't necessarily want to do that. What we did at DNC, which we also tried this time, which also affects camber gain, is we raised the hub, kept lowered the link back down, and that's the kind of magic setup that we had at DNC back when Max won. Also, another thing you can do when the track is grippy is raise the whole link. Now I think those have less to do, those two changes have less to do with roll center changes and more to do with camber gain changes, because you can do those changes and keep the roll center very similar, but on track it will be different. But we tried that and didn't really like it. So I think with the way the track was, the way the bumps were, I honestly don't think that the difference in camber gain was a big deal. That's not going to make or break the car, in my opinion, because the speeds weren't really high enough and the bumps were too big. I'd say that kind of how DNC was that year, in fact, when Max won. Like high speed at the end of the straight, there's a lot of sort of smallish sharp bumps, those kind of sections. Yeah, it makes sense. You're going through a sweeper at high speed, medium-sized bumps. Yeah, but this was like bomb holes everywhere, huge bumps, low speed. So it's not really, camber gain wouldn't be the priority. Chris is saying shortening the links. Yeah, that's another way. So when you shorten the camber links, yes, you can add camber gain, but again, you don't want to do that because shortening the links makes the car more aggressive, more nervous, and you didn't want that on this track. And also, let's say you shorten the link on the rear. If you shorten the link on the tower on the rear, it will stiffen up the rear end. It won't roll as much. You might, well, I think that when you do that, it doesn't go through bumps as well, but you also sort of lose that softness you need on a track like this in the feel. And if you shorten the rear link on the hub, then the problem can be that you're driving around the track, you hit a bump and you suddenly lose rear grip, and you don't want that either. Ride height. So I think I ended up running 27 front, 28 rear in the main. Normally I run maybe 26 front, 27 rear. So yeah, a bit higher. So anyway, recap. What I did change was I added kick up in the front, more angle on the arm. I reduced anti-squat on the rear, less angle on the arm. Both help with going through bumps. Then I went thinner on my diff oils in the front and the center. I think on that track the most important would be the middle to go down in the center diff. What I didn't do, but I should have gone to narrow hexes, front and rear, the standard ones. I had wide ones because narrow hexes don't catch bumps as much. On edgy tracks, they smooth things out. I should have done that. And I should have also moved the shocks in on the arms, front and rear. Because when you move the shocks in, makes the suspension softer, goes a lot better through bumps. So I should have done those things. Let's see if there was something else. Barry Baker has some smart comment, but again, I can't see it. He's saying that I see your problem. You talk about it as slow speed, but all the top guys were saying it was a high speed track. Obviously, you need to pull the trigger more. Yes, very funny, Barry. That track, it started off high speed. Yes, when we first hit the track, it was like a freeway, high speed. Now, at the end of the race, it wasn't high speed. I mean, did you watch the main? The only high speed sections were the big jumps. They weren't going through those bumps fast. In the one berm, they went wide to avoid the bumps, carried speed. After that triple, everyone went slow through the bumps. Double onto the straight. End of the straight, everyone went slow. Did the triple, that corner, everyone went slow. All the bumpy parts were so rough that everyone was going slow. Oh yeah, sway bars, that's a good point, Chris. So another thing I could have tried, Degani actually tried it. I think he ended up sticking with it, was rear sway bar. I ran 2.6. I could have tried a thinner sway bar. When you run a thinner sway bar, the suspension is more independent, so you can kind of see, well, not really, it's not really thick enough, but I work the suspension on this side and you see the other side moving too, because they link together with the sway bar. So imagine you hit bumps, and with one wheel it can't absorb it because there's a sway bar working there too. Like you unsettle the whole car instead of just one wheel moving. So with thinner sway bars, you can also help the car track bumps through bumps better. Wouldn't universals be better on a bumpy track? Well, I'm running universals. Thicker front bar. Well, okay, so Anthony's running a TLR. Now, I drove his TLR and it was a hunk of shit when I drove it, but we improved it a bit. But his car is very different to mine. See, the problem he has on a track like this, for example, is that it oversteers a lot. Like the front end is super aggressive. So that's why he goes thicker diff oil, harder sway bar. That's not really the problem on this car. I didn't have oversteer. If I wanted to change the steering, this plate here, I use the number 2. So this has the most aggressive steering. So let's say I go in a hairpin, this plate reduces Ackerman. So in the hairpin I have a lot of steering. Good for lap times. But on a track like that, let's say my steering was too aggressive, the car was a bit hard to drive, I could go to the number 1 plate, which is longer, more Ackerman, less steering in hairpins, and also a lot less initial steering. So it just smooths everything out. So going through bumps, it's easier to keep your line, go straight, just smooths everything out. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't go to a thicker sway bar, I would change that steering plate. And Anthony says it's because I have no steering. By the way, you didn't reply. Are you going to the Palm Desert race or what? What classes are we supposed to be running? Nitro buggy, and what else? So I'll make this setup that I just explained. I'll write it down and I'll post it. This time I'll actually post it. And this is sort of a universal bumpy, super bumpy track setup, rough track setup. This is what I would try if I was you. yeah, what classes are we racing? Nitro Buggy, and what else? Is that it? And are we watching Supercross? Soon we have to do that. I have to talk about some US culture. Just something I've noticed here on my trip. The coulda, woulda, shoulda setup. Exactly. So next time I'll actually do these things, and then I won't need to have this Facebook Live. By the way, I'll show you a quick tip. This tip is straight from Bolivia. Okay. So some people have electronical issues, switches and shit. Yes and yes. Anthony, what do you mean yes and yes? Which classes are we racing? Truggy? E-buggy? What are we doing? So look at this. Body clip through there. Extension lead glued on there. Plug in. You drill a hole for the body clip. Mechanical fail safe. It's never gonna come out, is it? You're good to go. How cool is that? Super simple, genius. Dave Lakem is watching. The PMB organizer. 24-hour practice, man. Gotta go practice so I get my money's worth. No warm-up, 6-minute qualifiers, is it? Or is it 5? Know how it is at the American races. Yes, Nitro Buggy and Supercross. Nothing else? We're only racing one class. So it's only gonna be 8-3. That's the opposite of a failsafe. Yeah, it's like a, what is that then? Unless you drill a hole that your body clip shorts out your lipo. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, it's time for, what was it called? I had a name for it. US Culture Appreciation Part 2. Part 1 was adults kissing each other on the mouth, which is really weird. But before Part 2, I need to go. Okay, here we go. I need a 805 for this. Where's my, I don't have an opener. Wait, watch this. This is how I open beers. Walmart table. God damn! I made it. Okay. Does anyone feel that it would be awesome if someone burst into the room and super soaked him with a super soaker? Will Smith is just a weird guy. Okay, so here goes, part 2. This is something I've noticed here in America. Now, don't take this the wrong way, okay? This is not hate. This is not hate. This is just things that I've noticed. I travel all around the world, 42 different countries, I think, or 43. And I've only lived in 3 countries, Finland, America, and the Philippines. There are some things in America that are just unique to Americans. And I just want to highlight them here. You know, you can feel special. can you incorporate a bottle opener into your chassis plates? Maybe the front shock tower bottle opener. That would be good. Like right here. Bottle opener right there. That's a good idea. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So I have noticed a particular thing that happens only in America. And it confuses me, and this is why. America is the most patriotic country I've ever been in. Flags everywhere. Flag this, flag that. National anthem playing like it's December and it's jingle bells, you know, and you're in the mall. Like all the time. People standing to attention. Hats off. National anthem before RC races, before any sporting events. Like, it's insane. You have military appreciation, you know. God even blessed America. God bless America. So it's super patriotic. America's the best, the richest, the freest country in the world. Like, America's the best at everything. If there's something that America isn't the best at, you just don't do it. You invent your own. Like football, for example. The rest of the world plays football. It's like biggest sport in the world. It's so great. Fuck, we kind of suck at this. Okay, let's make our own football. So Americans come up with a sport where you don't play it with your feet. You actually carry a ball, but it's not really a ball. It's an egg. So it's like hand egg, but you call it football. Because you're the greatest. Who gives a shit? You just invented a game that only you play, but if you win, you're the world champion. Kind of like baseball, the World Series. Like, America's just the best, okay? Now, I mean, one more thing about football before we move on. Basically, American football is just rugby for pussies with watered down rules. Well, not really watered down rules, like added rules for like whenever the game gets interesting, that's when they blow the whistle. So it's just, but that's the whole different Facebook Live. So anyway, you get the point. So America's a great country, best at everything. If you're not best at something, you don't do it, you invent your own shit. That's how good you are. And people love it. I mean, even I spend all these months over here because it's fucking awesome. Great country. So people are proud of it. Proud to be American. Here comes the funny bit. Let's say I'm somewhere and I open my mouth and I say something. And I'm around people who don't know me. Inevitably, at some point, someone will say, "You have an accent, where are you from?" And then I go, "I'm from Finland." And you know what they say? To this day, I can't figure this out. I just cannot. They say, "Oh, you're from Europe, that's cool. I'm German, half Irish, Scottish, Armenian, and just a pinch of Swedish in there." I'm like, what? You German, Scottish, Armenian, Swedish? No, you're not. You're American. Why didn't you just say that you're American? Like, why did you say that you're all those things? You're American. Super patriotic Americans. Yet every time this comes, every single time someone asks where am I from and I say, they always come back with it. I'm German, Irish, Italian, Norwegian. Hey, you don't even own a passport. You've never been to any of those countries. You don't speak the language. You're just American, okay? Don't why do you do that? If you're so patriotic, what's wrong with just being American? Why do you have to be all those things? Why do you have to be all those different European countries that can't maybe exactly place on the map, but you just those things? I don't get it. Then we have the hyphen people. By the way, what I just explained, these people who say that they're German, Italian, Scottish, with a pinch of Swedish dropped in, they're all white. Then we have everyone else. You know where this is going. Oh, I'm Korean American, Asian American, Muslim American, and my favorite, African American. What the fuck? Why can't you just be American? Okay? If you're so patriotic, you love this place so much, why not just be American? I don't get it. In Finland, everyone's Finnish. They aren't like Muslim Finns or American Finns or German Finns or stupid Finns. They're just Finns, you know, so it's just weird, this, you know, like, Muslim isn't even a nationality. You're a Muslim, what the you're an American, you're just American, okay? And African American, you know, most people in America, African American is like black, basically, like African American, black, that's same people. Well, get this. If a white South African came to America, he moved here, he lived in America, he would be a true African American. But no one would look at him and think, oh, that's an African American. Also, Africa isn't a country. Nigerian American, okay, that would make more sense with like Korean American, Nigerian American, okay. But like Muslim American or African American, that's like, that doesn't even make sense anymore. Also, I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, stand for the flag, national anthem, patriotism, all this, and then everyone's something else than just American. I don't get it. It's really weird to me. I just don't get it. I mean, at this point, I'm more African American than most people who get called African Americans over here. True story. Just makes no sense, people. Jesus, American. You're African American, but only from the forehead up. I almost said a really. I almost said a rude joke, but then I remembered that everyone on here knows that it's actually only from the forehead up. I'm a chubby American. You don't even like soul food. American. Exactly. Salty Joe has it right. Like, I wish I could get American citizenship. You know why? Well, I probably could, but I'm not going to go through that. But I wish I could. Then when people said the same thing, I just say, I'm American. That would be the ultimate hyphenated thing, like, I'm American. What does that mean? No, I'm American. That would be cool. But am I crazy? Am I crazy, or is this really a thing? Like, do you understand what I'm talking about here? Rob says, because all these clowns want to be individuals and different nowadays. I agree. If you're American, be American. See? Even Rob Lupo, police officer, he shoots to kill. Even he agrees. Because most are immigrants. But that's not it. Like, Ogie, I'm telling you, people who say that they're like German, Italian, Irish, and Swedish, they have never been to those countries. Like, their grandparents or great-grandparents moved over here back in the day. That's literally like me walking around saying that I'm Ghanaian. It's stupid. I'm Filipino-American. I don't have a Philippine passport. Okay, Ogie has a point. He lives in the Philippines. He's pretty much Filipino, but American passport. Dave Wentz, there are Swedish Finns and Finnish Finns. They are Swedish-speaking Finns, but they still call themselves Finns. The Swedish-speaking Finns. But they don't say that they're Swedish. They don't say that they're Swedish Finns, really. Like, people don't say that. They just don't. They just finish. Joshua, yeah, I'm supposed to be German Russian. No, Joshua, you're just American, okay? Let's get to the point. When are you going to do color commentary for an RC race? I don't know. I don't know. Could be funny. Anyway, I think we're done here. We talked about the bumpy track thing. We've now appreciated two different aspects of American culture, you know, adult family members kissing each other on the mouth, and the fact that in the most patriotic nation that I know, no one wants to be just American. Everyone has to be something else, which is just very strange. So next week, we're gonna do part 3. I've got another interesting quirk for you next week, and also we are gonna talk about race formats. See, I'm really tired of the current racing system. You know all about, we've ranted about this so many times on the podcast. Go to the track, you spend all day there, you barely get any run time. The organizers basically, they got our money, they don't care anymore. It's just bullshit. Complete bullshit. Spend all that time, don't get value for money. And you just qualify, you're racing the clock for most of the time. Then at the end of the day, you might get a main where you race other people. It sucks. We can do better. We can have more exciting race formats. We don't need to spend all day at the track. The organizers can still make money. Maybe they can even make more money. There's a way. So I figured out a few different race formats. Race format for club racing. Race format for glorified club races like JBRL or Grassroots or Buggyland or all these like club races that just claim to be big races so they can make more money. But it's the same shit. It's just a club race. And then big races like Raw Nationals, Euros, Worlds. Got some ideas for the formats for those 3 different types of races. So club races that claim to be big races, actual big races. They all require different things, I think. And the problem right now is if we have let's say a new person joins the hobby. They discover RC racing somehow. Maybe they see a cool RCGP video. They're like, wow, I want to do that. That looks cool. They go to a JBRL. They sell all their shit the next day. You know why? Because you go there, 6 a.m. It's like, oh my God, this is going to be awesome. It's a shit show. You don't get on the track for practice because it's like people standing in line and crazy and you don't have a pit guy and you don't know what's happening. Like there's no structure to it. So you just don't practice, okay? Then you get 2 qualifiers in the main and it's like 4 hours between rounds. And you just spent all day and a bunch of money and you barely got to drive. And you're like, this is insane. So you just quit. That's a problem. We need to address that. Got a solution for that next week. Yep. Barry Baker said I should be a commentator in an A main because I'm never going to be in them. Yeah, I mean, he has a point. It could be good. Oscar Lopez, I'm an illegal American. That's good. That's a good one. I am an illegal American, yeah. Joko sulla Suomen passi? Henkka, mä en saanut Suomen passia. Kela, että Fajakin sai. Ja sitten meillä on tuttuja, niin niillä on toinen vanhempi suomalainen. Ei ole koskaan asunut Suomessa, sai Suomen passin. Mutta mä en saa. Saatanan mamutte, tällainen saatanan mamu. Ei jumalauta. Ei kelpaa. Why are the engines on the left side of the car? I don't know. Someone did it first, and then everyone followed. This beer is from California. California, America. Niinpä Henkka, niin. Mä en saa olla suomalainen. Mä oon kuulemma matkustellut liikaa. Mä oon vaan syntynyt Suomeen. Käynyt koulut Suomessa, yritys Suomessa, maksaa verot Suomeen, asunut Suomessa. Sitten viimeiset vuodet matkustanut liikaa. Tosi järkevää. I said, what did I just say? I was speaking Finnish. I just said that all these idiots who kind of want to be Americans. Just Europeans, really, and Africans. Okay, Nitro's the glory. We're done. Next year, we're going to talk, next week, we're going to talk race formats. Okay, can we end this? What do you think about associated prototype parts? Let me shine before I e-buggy this. Do you remember last summer I did a Facebook Live and I talked about the wide pivots, C&D blocks, wide ones, short arm? What did I say? What did I say after I test drove the associated? Do you remember? Last summer I drove the AE, talked about the wide blocks. I said something's going to happen in the future. What was it? Do you remember? I said they're going to go narrow. All those cars with the wide pivots, they're going to go back narrow. Why? Because the cars are too hard to drive. Yep. It makes it fast, but it's not consistent. Makes it nervous, erratic. Too hard to drive for most people. They are going to go narrower, I said. The wide one has a false sense of, oh, this is awesome, because you're on one track with consistent grip that you know, and you go faster because your lap time is faster. It's natural corner speed. Go to a different track, you struggle. How did they do at this race? Now with the new stuff, not great, just because they need to dial that shit in. They need to figure out the setup. So yeah, they did go narrow on the pivot, longer arm, as predicted by yours truly last year on a Facebook Live. Maybe Rivkin was watching. Maybe he watched that. Maybe Spencer watched my Facebook Live last year when I tried the associated. He noted down what I said. He went to engineers over at Associated and said, we should make a narrow pivot. They asked him, why do you say that? And he said, I don't know. I had a dream. And maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Anyway, you know what I see when I scroll through the comments? I see e-buggy.